Hi guys, welcome back to It's Cozy But Complicated. My name is Maria, and this is my little corner of the internet where I take Hallmark movies way too seriously. And this weekend I watched The Love Heist. The Love Heist starred Lindsay Fonseca as Kaylee and Peter Port as Liam Mills. Now, all I can say about this movie, y'all, is that this was a fun, fashionable, good time. I had a good time watching this movie. So what we have, y'all, we have a celebrity fashion stylist and a hotel security chief trying to solve a fashion mystery right before this big fashion event in Chicago. Yes, this movie is set in Chicago, which I was so excited about, y'all, because I've always wanted to go to Chicago, y'all. I have planned trips to Chicago and just never went, mainly because my budget, my PTO, and the weather just won't get on the same page. But anyway, these two, while they are trying to solve this fashion mystery, they end up falling in love. And y'all, I want to say right off the bat that this movie immediately reminded me of Caught by Love that premiered earlier this year. It was part of the Winter Escape series. Now we have The Love Heist. This is the third installment of the Summer Nights series. I feel like this one is better than Caught by Love. And the reason why, I feel like Caught by Love had a lot of mystery with a little bit of romance thrown in. But I feel like The Love Heist has a lot of romance with a little bit of mystery thrown in. This one was just a lot more fun. So let's just get into it. All right, guys, so let's get right into this. So the movie wastes no time in setting up the romance. The movie throws us right into Kaylee and Liam's meet cute. The moment that Kaylee arrives at the hotel, she traveled in from LA to Chicago, and she's trying to snag a luggage cart. These big, pretty gold luggage carts. There's an instant spark between her and Liam when he tries to explain to her that only the bellhops can, use the luggage carts. It's a safety issue. And I'm the head chief of security. I'm here to keep you safe and keep all of these guests that are in town for this big Chicago event. I'm here to keep everybody safe. But Kelly, determined to do things her way, she snags a cart anyway. And they have this little playful clash, back and forth. And immediately it establishes their dynamic. You have Liam, who's the rule follower, while Kaylee is more independent and willing to bend the rules in order to get things done. So it's a classic Hallmark setup that quickly lays the groundwork for both the romance and the adventure that's to come. Now, and y'all, the most exciting thing about this movie is that they are putting 20 on 10 trying to find this dress. They're going to the parties. They're going to the galas. They are posing as another couple. They are going to boutiques. They're trying to find this dress when all the while the dress is hiding in plain sight the entire time. Now, guys, y'all know I like to review these movies through the lens of work culture, burnouts. I like to look at what type of work the leads do, what they do for a living, how it affects them emotionally, physically. Are they exhausted? Because in typical Hallmark movies, we open with somebody being just tired from work and they are looking for an escape, or the movie pulls them into an escape, or it pulls them into a fantasy. I don't really see that with this movie. I think this movie is a little different. I don't see these characters as being exhausted and needing escape from their work. I just see them trying to maneuver and exist within the work. So we're going to get into it. So we're going to just start with Kaylee. Kaylee represents the ambitious, creative worker. So Kaylee represents a familiar figure in modern work culture. She's the talented employee who has become comfortable hiding in a supporting role. As assistant stylist at Celine Lane Inc., Kaylee is creative, she's hardworking, and deeply knowledgeable about fashion. Yet she spends her days bringing someone else's vision to life while suppressing her own instincts and ideas. A past mistake involving a high-profile actress shattered her confidence, and she has never truly recovered. Instead of trusting her expertise, she second-guesses every decision and relies heavily on her boss, Celine, for validation and direction. But then everything changes. When Celine leaves for Paris to attend her son's elopement, Kaylee is suddenly responsible for styling movie star Rennie Jean for the Chicago Costume Gala and all the events leading up to it. It's the kind of opportunity that an ambitious employee would dream about and probably fear in equal measure. But here's another problem. Rennie Jean dislikes all of the dresses that Celine selected, but she was too afraid to speak up and tell Celine. The only look that Kaylee is certain will work for Rennie Jean is a vintage Elizabeth Taylor gown. It's a French silk chiffon dress, custom dyed to match the actress's famous violet eyes. We learned that it took over 72 hours to get the color just right. But because Rennie Jean needs a whole new wardrobe, Kaylee has to leave the hotel room, which she was tasked with saying, do not leave this room unless you tell someone, because they have to protect this dress. But she leaves the room anyway. She goes out to shop for new clothes for Rennie Jean, but when she comes back to the hotel room, the dress is gone. So when the dress disappears from Kaylee's hotel room, the stakes become deeply personal. Her determination to recover the stolen gown isn't really about saving the gala. It's about proving that she is not the failure that she believes herself to be. Now, the movie explores a common workplace reality. One mistake can become a career-defining story that we all tell ourselves long after everyone else has moved on. Instead of seeing herself as a talented stylist who experienced a setback, Kaylee internalizes that setback as evidence that she is not capable. The Love Heist also argues that confidence isn't built through perfection. It's built through trusting your expertise, speaking up when your instincts tell you that something is wrong, and allowing yourself to step out from behind the people you've been supporting. Sometimes the biggest promotion isn't a new title. It's finally believing that you're ready for the responsibility you've been carrying all along. The Love Heist isn't about recovering a priceless piece of fashion history. It's more so about recovering a lost sense of professional identity. Now, that is how I would describe Kaylee's motivation or her plot in this movie, or her plight in this movie. She is not looking to be promoted. She does not want to be a head stylist. She just wants to, she says in the movie, look, I'm not good with responsibility. I just want to get this over with and done so I can go back to my regular life. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I don't want to be a boss. I don't want to make the final decisions on anything, because in the past I've tried to do that and it did not work out. I almost destroyed an actress's career. So I'm not the one to be in the lead. But Celine just leaves her. Girl, I'm going to Paris. My son is eloping with his girlfriend. Now, to me, elopement is something that you do spontaneously, just between you and the person you're going to marry. But for whatever, they are treating this elopement like it is a wedding, that she has to be there. It's the weirdest thing. I did not like that, but it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny because Celine was like, girl, I know this is a big event. I know this is my company, but I'm just going to leave you in charge. Now, the only thing is, okay, you're leaving Kaylee in charge when she's your assistant, but Kaylee doesn't have any assistants. There's nobody there to help her. She does have a hairstylist that is there. We never see a makeup artist or anything, but she does have a hairstylist that is there to style Rennie Jean's hair. And they kind of work together, but I don't know. I felt like Celine just threw Kaylee out in the ocean and told her, girl, swim, do the best you can. And she did a really good job. But let's talk about Liam Mills. So we're going to go back and forth between Liam and Mills. So his motivation is a little bit different when it comes to this dress and his job and everything. So on paper, Liam Mills represents the ideal guardian of workplace order. As the head of hotel security, he values rules, structure, and responsibility. His role requires him to anticipate risk, maintain calm under pressure, and put duty ahead of personal feelings. But the Love Heist quietly reveals that Liam isn't nearly as objective as he believes himself to be. Lim is chasing a promotion to become international security chief for all the Park Lux hotels. This is a chain, so he wants to be the chief international security for the entire hotel chain. And this is a role that would allow him to protect dignitaries, politicians, diplomats, all while satisfying his desire to travel. After being honorably discharged from the military due to permanent nerve damage he was shot twice in the leg. This promotion represents more than career advancement for him. It's a chance to reclaim a sense of purpose and build a future beyond the life-altering circumstances that redirected his path. Finding the missing Elizabeth Taylor dress should be about protecting the hotel's reputation and proving he's ready for the next level of leadership. But instead, his motivation increasingly shifts toward helping Kaylee. The investigation becomes less about securing a priceless artifact and more about protecting a woman whose vulnerability resonates with his own. In many ways, Lim and Kaylee are mirrors of each other. Both are defined by past experiences that damaged their confidence. Kaylee's professional mistake left her afraid to trust herself. Lim's military injuries forced him to reimagine his identity and ambitions. Their connection grows because they recognize something familiar in one another. The fear that single defining moment can permanently alter the trajectory of your life. Now, we see this as an example with Kaylee and Vivian Thorpe. So Vivian Thorpe was a big actress that Kaylee styled some years ago. It's been years ago. And she just had a mishap, a fashion faux pas. She styled Vivian in a dress that matched too closely the background of a red carpet event. So with her dress color and the background, she just kind of camouflaged into the background. And there are a lot of memes and jokes made about this situation. And it cost Vivian Thorpe a movie role. And Kaylee has always felt responsible for that. And so Vivian is here at the Chicago, they call it the Chicago Costume Gala or the Cosmo Gala. But Vivian Thorpe is in town and Kaylee is trying her hardest to avoid this lady. She does not want to face this lady because she's still so embarrassed and so, I guess you could say, heartbroken about what happened years ago. But they end up bumping into each other. And Vivian is like, Kaylee, is that you? And Kaylee is like, oh my God, I don't want to talk to her. But she turns around, hi, Vivian, and she goes right into an apology. Vivian, I'm so sorry what I did to you. I cost you a movie role. I did this, I did that. I'm so sorry. But Vivian was like, yeah, that was an unfortunate time, but girl, I have moved on. My career actually got better. She said, because I lost that role, I ended up doing indie movies and I got a really big role in an independent film, and it really set my career in a different direction for the better. And I met my husband, so I'm married now. And so she's like, I'm good. And so Kaylee's like, well, I'm so happy for you. And this kind of releases Kaylee from that loss of confidence, that self-doubt. And it gives her, I guess you could say, permission to move forward. So I did appreciate that scene. So again, that lets us know that sometimes, when people move on, we're still stuck in that same place, overthinking in our head, thinking that we're something that we're not. So she's not a failure. She can move on. So I like that. The movie suggests that even the most disciplined professionals are not immune to emotional investment. In fact, the qualities that make Lim good at his job, empathy, protectiveness, commitment, are the same qualities that blur the boundaries between professional responsibility and personal attachment. With that said, the film occasionally struggles to reconcile Lim's security expertise with his actions. Small details, y'all, like inconsistencies in his protective instincts while walking with Kaylee down the street. It kind of pulled me out of the story. Now, this bothered me because when they're walking down the street, we all know it's gentlemanliness, protectiveness, security 101. When you're walking down the street with the lady, she walks on the inside, the gentleman walks on the outside. I noticed that right away. And I was like, well, why is he letting her walk on the outside? And then like a car goes by really, really fast. He grabs her and he puts her on the inside. And I'm like, okay, he got it together. But no, right in the next scene, she's back on walking the outside. And I'm like, Liam, see, now I'm starting to not believe you. I'm starting to not believe you. And so we see throughout the movie when they're walking, Kaylee is always on the outside. And I didn't like that. And I don't know if this was purposeful on the writers that they do this, or was this just one of those details that they just overlooked? I don't know. So for Liam, the promotion matters, the hotel reputation matters, but by the end of the investigation, it's clear that helping Kaylee rediscover her confidence matters just as much. So that's pretty much the movie and how I looked at it from, like I said, a workplace perspective. They both had jobs that they really, really loved, but Kaylee just wanted to stay in the background, where Liam, he wanted this promotion. He wanted to do something more, be something more, have more of a title. He had his own personal reasons because he wanted to travel. He made a comment that, he doesn't want to sit in the same place with the same people for too long. And Kaylee got a little bit upset about that, because I think she was thinking that, oh, that means you're not committed. It's hard, you won't be committed to me if we got together or something like that. But he was like, no, I got to be on the move. So as we get to the end of the movie, so I did appreciate the ending of the movie, y'all. I did. I typically don't like Hallmark mysteries. I think they're silly, but this was just fun. So I'm not mad at the ending. So as we move to the ending, y'all, Kaylee has also been hired by Ollie K. So Rennie Jean and Ollie K are dating. Ollie K, he was in a boy band, but now he's a solo artist. He's big. He's a big deal. He wants to propose to her at the Cosmo Gala. This is going to be a big thing. And he wants Kaylee to make sure she is dressed properly, no gloves on the hands, because he has this beautiful 18th century, 17th century, something like that ring that he wants to propose to her with. It's very expensive. It's very old. It's very vintage. She's like, okay, I'm on it. I know my assignment. I am on it. So at the gala, they are there. It's the crowd. Liam and Kaylee are there. They are posing as the Carlyles, a rich couple that had tickets to everything, but they didn't show up. So they are there, and Rennie Jean and Ollie K are doing their thing by walking the carpet. They both look beautiful in this beautiful blue matching outfits. Inside of the gala, he goes to propose to Rennie Jean, but when he reaches into his pocket to get the ring, there's no ring. He's lost the ring. The ring is gone. And everybody's like, oh my God, what is happening? And Kaylee sees someone off to the side that's kind of looking suspicious, and they start running. So Kaylee starts running after them, and she meets up with him, and he's like, look, I have the ring. I'll give it to you if you let me go. And she's like, no, I can't do that. Because if he gives her the ring, this is what I thought. If he gives her the ring and he runs off, it looks like she took the ring. Because in the beginning with the dress, Liam tells her, you're the number one suspect, because even on our cameras, and we have cameras everywhere, there is no footage of anyone going into your room but you. There's no one going into your room or coming out with a dress. We have no footage of anything like that. So we only see you going into the room, you coming out the room. So she was like, no, I can't let you go. No, you have to stay here. You have to give me the ring. You have to stay here. And while she's talking to him, Liam comes out of nowhere and he knocks the guy down. But when he knocks the guy down, the ring flies out of his hand. It looks like it's going to go down a sewer drain. But Kaylee catches it just in the nick of time. And this was weird. Then the next scene, they just snap back. They're back at the party. And Ollie K is finishing up his proposal. Rennie Jean says yes. Okay, all is well. It's like nothing happened. But then they come back and say that the guy was Vivian Thorpe's bodyguard, and he's been going to all of these parties and stuff, stealing stuff, because they had some scenes where a watch went missing, a Hermes scarf went missing, but he did not take the dress. The dress is still missing. So who took the dress, y'all? So as we move on, There's a scene where Kaylee goes down to the security area in the hotel to talk to Lim, and his boss, I think his name was Errol, he tells Kaylee, no, I'm sorry, but Lim is gone. He doesn't work here anymore. He turned in his resignation. He turned in his phone. I tried to get him to stay, but he was just so upset because he thought he wasn't going to get the promotion, so he quit. And she's like, he quit and he's just leaving without saying goodbye? And he's like, I don't know, girl. I'm sorry. I don't know. So she runs out, and the front desk tells her she has a message, and it was a note saying, meet me at the bar. Now, I thought it was going to be Lim because that's the bar where they had their little romantic little kiss and all this kind of stuff. But it was Rennie Jean. So she's at the bar, and she is telling Kaylee, look, you did a great job for me. I love all the pieces that you created. You know, she created a custom piece with neckties. It was beautiful. She was like, I love the vintage feel that you've been giving me during this season, and I want to hire you full time. She's like, I'm getting ready to, I'm going to have to do promotion because Rennie Jean is going to be in a movie where she's going to be playing Elizabeth Taylor. So she's like, we're going to have to do promotion for the movie. So many things are coming up, and I'm going to need a stylist, and I want you. And so Kayla's like, okay, I appreciate that. And she said, also, Ali is going on an 18-month tour, European tour, and I'm going on tour with him. And I need a stylist. I need you to go with me. And she's like, wait a minute, whoa, that's too much. Now, I don't know if I can do all of that. And she's like, have you talked to Celine? And she's like, don't worry, Celine gives you her blessing. She wants you, she's okay with you going with me. And at first, her first instinct is to say no, because again, she doesn't want to be the main character. She's always been in a supporting role, but this would require her to be the boss. And she hesitates, but then she says, okay, I'll go with you. So Rennie Jean was like, all right, well, I'll see you in London. So then Kaylee goes out and she's looking for Liam. She's like, where did he go? Like, why did he do this? So she went back to this cafe where Liam has his auntie sisters, two ladies. They're sisters. They own a cafe, but they also serve as like mother figures to Liam. They kind of look out for him. And she's asking them, have you guys seen him? And they was like, no, we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him today. But they wasn't really concerned like, oh, he left town, or, they was like, we just haven't seen him today. She was like, oh my God, I just wonder, where is he? And then something clicks in her head and she's like, oh, I know where he goes when he wants to think. So she went to the park. Boom, that's where he is. And she's like, Liam, what are you doing? Are you just going to leave without saying anything? And he was like, well, I just came out here to clear my head. And I was thinking about what I was going to say to you when I saw you. And she was like, why did you quit? Why did you quit your job? And he was like, I didn't quit. He's like, Errol fired me. He fired me. She's like, well, he said you turned in a resignation. He said, no, I didn't. And then it clicked for them. So they go back and they find out that Errol, Liam's boss, is the one that stole the dress. And the dress has been in his office inside the hotel the entire time. And his reason for doing it is because he wanted to sabotage Liam's promotion. Because he felt like he should get the promotion because he's the boss. He's been doing this longer than Liam. Why would the company not pick him? And he thought, well, okay, well, fine. You guys found me out. No big deal. This is a victimless crime. And the police was like, no, this is a crime and you're going to jail. So they arrested him. Liam, he didn't get the promotion. He still didn't get the promotion, but he got something even better. So Kaylee tells him, I'm going to miss you. I'm going on tour. I'm going on an 18-month tour with Rennie Jean as her stylist. She's going on tour with Ali, and I'm going to miss you. He's like, oh, you're not going to miss me because Ali has hired me as his head of security, and I'm going on the tour as well. So they both get what they want because Liam wanted a security job that would require him to travel, and he wanted to be the boss. He wants to be the head man in charge. He gets that with this tour. Kaylee, not wanting to be the boss, but still thrown into a situation where she could really prove to herself that she can do this. So it all worked out, y'all. I thought the ending was absolutely phenomenal. I liked it. Now, some people may feel like the love heist, there was really no heist. But it was the love. It was the love. And I'm just so happy that they got a chance to travel together and, just fulfill their desires. I really enjoyed this movie. And now I'm just going to close out, y'all, with a couple of things I really did like about the movie and a couple of things I didn't like about the movie. So what I love about the movie is I love the fact that Kaylee was so passionate and knowledgeable about fashions. The way she could just roll off details about different garments, different brands, the way she could spot a vintage piece from a mile away. She understood fabric. She understood value when it came to clothes. Now, she did make there was a line where she said, fashion is not about the price tag. It's about the eye. And she had an eye for fashion. She really did. So I enjoyed that part of the movie. Let's see, I'm looking at my notes. I also enjoyed her outfits. She's dressed like a stylist. She was very fashionable, just mixing and mixing and matching different prints, colors, fabrics. I loved it. What she did for Rennie Jean, that one outfit with the hat, the tie, and the bodice with the neckties was absolutely phenomenal. Now, what I didn't like her dress that she wore to the gala, the Cosmo Gala. I didn't like that pink poofy cupcake thing. I didn't like that. You went too far. You was doing too much. But still, she does have a good sense of fashion. I also like the auntie sisters that owned the cafe. They were really cute. I like their relationship with Liam. I also like the hairstylist that worked with Kaylee. He was funny. He kept her sane, I guess you could say. He was a good friend. I also wrote here again that Kaylee is like a walking fashion encyclopedia. I like that. And okay, the almost kiss, y'all. There was an almost kiss. Y'all know the almost kiss is one of Hallmark's favorite tropes to do. But I like what they did with this one. So there's a scene where Liam has asked Kaylee to help him, to teach him how to dance. He didn't know how to dance. So they meet in the little bar at the hotel. They start dancing and they get ready to kiss. And when they get ready to kiss, one of the security guards comes in and turns on the lights. And he's like, oh, I thought I heard something. I thought somebody was in here. And they was like, oh, it's just us, whatever. So he's like, I'm sorry. So he leaves. And usually this is when the characters just kind of move on to the next scene. But Liam was like, no, you think a little interruption is going to stop me from doing this? And he pulls her in and he kisses her. I love that. I love that. And Ollie K. He didn't have a big role, but I liked him. I thought he was very good looking. I thought he was charming, and he was a pleasant sight on the screen. He was very warm, very smooth. Was feeling Ollie K in his relationship with Rennie Jean. Love that. Some things I did not quite like about the movie. Now, I didn't like Celine and her just nonchalant way of throwing Kaylee to the wolves. I didn't like that. She had it's her business, but she just had a lack of care that I didn't like. Also, there was a boutique owner at Matilda's Vintage Boutique. This lady had this boutique, had all these beautiful clothes, but she could care less. She had a beautiful silk piece that Kaylee was trying to tell her, you need to go have this appraised. This is an expensive piece. But she was like, okay, well, you can have it for $100. I don't care. I just want to watch my stories. So she was obsessed with these black and white soap operas. I felt like her character could have gave a little bit more to the story since she owned a vintage shop. And I don't know, but I didn't like that character as well. And what else? I don't know. I think that was really it, y'all. This one was a really good movie for me. It was fun. It was fashionable, as I said in the beginning, and it was a good time. It was a good time. It was very entertaining. I think the chemistry between Liam and Kaylee was good, but it almost gave me, and I hesitate to mention this, it almost gave me a little bit of Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis. When they had that show, the Moonlighting back in the day. And we always wanted them to get together, but they just had this playful way of interacting with each other. That's what this movie gave me. It gave me a little bit of Moonlighting. Also, Liam, his sense of humor, he was so funny. He wasn't giving me stiff security chief. He was just giving me just fun, attractive, sexy guy. That's what he was giving me. And Kaylee, she looked like Katy Perry to me. Every time I looked at her, I'm like, she looks like Katy Perry. Just a really cute little girl, just cute. So, but anyway, guys, that was it. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the two leads. I think their chemistry was great. I would give this one a 4.5 out of 5 if I was rating. I love the backdrop of Chicago, one of my favorite cities that I've never been to, but I do plan on getting there at some point. All right. So that's it, guys. I'm just rambling on. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't watched the movie, please go watch it. It's a good one. And if you have watched it, let me know down below, what do you think about the movie? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move about my day. I want you guys to like the video, subscribe to this channel, y'all. If you like Hallmark movies and you want to hear me yap about them, I do like to review the movies through the eyes of work culture, work burnout, exhaustion, relationships, loneliness, and the lives that we wish we were living. So if that interests you, come on back. Just come back for the next video, okay? And I'll see you then. Bye.